Hello friend, in the previous video we had observed the Weber-Carnot cycle, theoretical Rankine cycle, and we had also derived the efficiency of Rankine cycle with consideration of pump work and without consideration of pump work. We had also discussed what are the major components of Rankine cycle, what are the limitations of Carnot cycle, and comparison between Rankine cycle and Carnot cycle. So today I am available with a new video that include the methods to improve the performance of Rankine cycle and numerical related to it. Now we will discuss what are the different methods to improve the efficiency of Rankine cycle. Among them, first is mean temperature of heat addition. You can see in the figure number 5 that 2 to 3 is the process of heat addition, where 2 to A, that is sensible heat addition, A to B, that is a latent heat addition, and B to 3 is again a sensible heat addition. So 2 to A, that is heat addition in economizer, A to B, that is heat addition in evaporator, and B to 3, that is heat addition in superheater. Now, instead of going with this process 2 to 3, if we draw a line 5 to 6 in such a way so that the area under the process 2 to 3, that is equals to the area under the process 5 to 6, then this temperature available at process 5 to 6 is mean temperature of heat addition. And what is its effect, that we will discuss in next slide. Now we can say that the heat added is given by Q1, or that is Q supplied, that is equals to H3 minus H2, and that is also equals to H6 minus H5, and that is equals to Tm into H3 minus H2, where Tm is the mean temperature of heat addition, and that is equals to H3 minus H2 divided by S3 minus S2, where S3 and S2 are entropies at state 3 and at state 2. So the heat rejected is also considered as Q rejected or Q2, that is equals to H4 minus H1, and that is equals to T2 into S3 minus S2. T2, that is the temperature at which heat is rejected. So efficiency of Rankine cycle, that is equals to 1 minus Q2 by Q1, and that is equals to 1 minus T2 into S3 minus S2 divided by Tm into S3 minus S2. So you can say efficiency of Rankine cycle, that is equals to 1 minus T2 by Tmin. So T2 is the temperature at which heat is rejected at given pressure. But T2 is fixed according to the country or according to region. So indirectly T2 temperature, that is temperature at which heat is rejected, is fixed. So only variable is Tm. So efficiency of Rankine cycle is directly proportional to mean temperature of heat addition. So you can say from the equation number 5.14 that if mean temperature of heat addition will increase, the efficiency of Rankine cycle will increase. Now we have to discuss what is effect of superheating of steam on the efficiency of Rankine cycle. The figure number 6 is telling that the initial cycle was 1, 2, 3, 4, where 3 to 4 is the process of expansion of the steam into the steam turbine. Now when we'll go for superheating of the steam, we'll observe that the temperature of the steam at outlet of the steam generator is 3 dash, and at 3 dash the steam is entering into the steam turbine. So 3 dash 4 dash is the expansion of the steam into the steam turbine, and from that the turbine work is available. But the most important thing which we have to discuss is the when we'll go for superheating of the steam, we are not changing the pressure, so only there is rise in the temperature is observed. So when we'll go for the superheating, we can see that the net work done available will increase. At the same time, the amount of heat which we have to supply to the system, that will also increase. But the quality of the steam at outlet of the turbine, that will be improved, and hence when we'll go for increase in the steam temperature, that is when we'll go for superheating, the efficiency of Rankine cycle is increasing. But we cannot go for higher and higher temperature. The only reason is that if we will go for higher and higher temperature, because of metallurgical limits of the material may damage in the system. So we can not go for very high value of superheating of the steam. What we had discussed in the figure number 6, same is explained here. So just go through this slide, then we'll go for next slide. Now we have to discuss what is the effect of rise in boiler pressure. Now in the figure number 7, you can see we are increasing the boiler pressure, and but definitely we will keep the maximum temperature same. That is, the initial cycle was 1 2 3 4 1. Now the cycle is 1 2 2 dash 3 dash 4 dash 1. So when we'll increase the boiler pressure and we will keep the maximum temperature same, we can see from the figure number 7 that there is almost no change in the turbine work, or there is slightly reduction in the turbine work, but at the same time the pump work will be increased, as well as the quality of steam at outlet of the turbine is deteriorated. So it is generally not preferred to go for uh, increase in the boiler pressure. So if we go for increase in the boiler pressure, it is not desirable at all. Now we have to discuss what is effect of condenser pressure. So in the figure number 8, you can see the condenser pressure is reduced, and when the condenser pressure is reduced, turbine work is also increased, pump work is also increased, but the quality of steam available at turbine exhaust is deteriorated. So it is not desirable to reduce the condenser pressure, even though WT, that is turbine work, is increased and efficiency of Rankine cycle is also increasing. The condenser pressure is depend upon the saturation temperature of that particular region, and hence generally it is not in our control, and hence it is not desirable to vary the condenser pressure. Now we have to discuss what is the effect of reheating on the Rankine cycle efficiency. So reheating means, what we have to do is we have to extract the steam at intermediate pressure, and once again we have to go for reheating of it. Because when we increase the boiler pressure, the thermal efficiency of Rankine cycle that will increase, but it will also add the moisture content at end of the turbine outlet, and that liquid droplet will erode the turbine blade. So we have to modify the Rankine cycle, and the new cycle which is available is a reheat cycle. So in the next slide we will discuss the schematic and TS diagram of reheat cycle. Now in the figure number 9a, you can see schematic of reheat Rankine cycle, where you can find HPT and LPT, that is high pressure turbine and low pressure turbine. So at stage 3, the superheated steam will enter into the high pressure turbine. It will expand up to some intermediate pressure, and then it will enter into the reheater at stage 4, and after reheating again at stage 5, that is entering into the LPT, that is in the low pressure turbine, and then there is a fully expansion of the steam in the low pressure turbine. So if you see the TS diagram, the process 2 to 3, that is heat addition process, then 3 to 4, that is turbine work available from the high pressure turbine, then 4 to 5, that is you can say again heat addition takes place during reheating process, and 5 to 6, that is again turbine work available from the low pressure turbine. So now we have to discuss analysis of the same thing. So here we have to find out efficiency of this reheat cycle. So you can say that net turbine work available, that is turbine work minus pump work. So what is the turbine work available? That is turbine work available from the high pressure turbine plus turbine work available from the low pressure turbine minus pump work divided by the heat supplied. So the available turbine work is H3 minus H4 plus H5 minus H6 minus the pump work is H2 minus H1 divided by heat supplied, that is H3 minus H2 plus H5 minus H4. So this is, you can say, equation 5.15 where pump work is neglected and efficiency of reheat cycle is derived. Now we have to discuss the next way, that is regenerative cycle, and because of the regeneration what is the effect on Rankine cycle, that we have to discuss. So here with help of regeneration, the irreversibility is available on the left side of Rankine cycle, that will be minimized, and because of that definitely efficiency of Rankine cycle will be increased. So in this case, some amount of steam after partial expansion that will be extracted and that will be directly enter into the feed water heaters. And you know that feed water heater are, you can say, a kind of heat exchanger, and in detail we will discuss at end of this chapter. Figure number 10a is talking about Rankine cycle with regeneration, where you can see that 1 kg of steam that is entering into the steam turbine. At stage 4, some amount of heat, you can say m1 kg of heat, that is extracted and that will be entering into the feed water heater number 1. So the remaining mass, that is 1 minus m1, that is expanded, and again at stage 5 m2 kg of heat is extracted and that will be supplied to the feed water heater number 2. So the remaining mass, that is 1 minus m1 minus m2, that will be enter into the turbine for full expansion, and after that it is coming out from the turbine at stage 6. Then it is enter into the condenser for condensation, and the condensate is available at stage 7, and from stage 7 to 8 is the pumping. 8 to you can say 9, that is entering into the feed water heater. 9 to 10 is the pumping. Then at 10 again that condensate is entering into the feed water heater, its temperature will rise and it is coming out at state 1. Again from state 1 it is pumped into the boiler. The same thing is mentioned in the TS diagram also. So now we will go for analysis of this part. The turbine work available is divided in 3 parts. First, 1 kg of steam that is expanded, that is 1 into H3 minus H4. Then 1 minus m1 kg of steam is expanded, and then 1 minus m1 minus m2 kg of steam is expanded into the turbine. So the turbine work is 1 into H3 minus H4 plus 1 minus m1 into H4 minus H5 plus 1 minus m1 minus m2 into H5 minus H6. In the similar way, the 3 different pump works are available, that is WP1, WP2 and WP3. The formula is given here, that is 1 minus m1 minus m2 into H8 minus H7 plus 1 minus m1 into H10 minus H9 plus 1 into H2 minus H1. The amount of heat supplied Qs or Q1, that is equals to 1 into bracket H3 minus H2, and heat rejected is Q2 or QR, that is equals to 1 minus m1 minus m2 into H6 minus H7. So when we will go for regeneration part, there is no change in the turbine work output, but the heat supplied to the system that will be reduced, and so efficiency will increase. So figure number 5, equation number 5.16 is telling the same thing. So before we will discuss about this numerical, you must aware that the feed water heaters, that is of 2 type. One is a closed type of feed water heater and one is open type of feed water heater. So open type of feed water is a direct contact type of heat exchanger, where there is a direct mixing takes place between the extracted steam and the water, and because of that all the dissolved gases will be removed, which may create erosion into the steam generator, and that will also be helpful to maintain the pH value of treated water in the system. So generally when we'll talk about big industry or large power plant, 6 to 7 closed feed water heaters are available, and definitely one open feed water heater is available, which is also known as deaerator. So now we have to solve some numerical related to this Rankine cycle. So we can go with the first data which is available, that is a thermal power plant uses the steam as a working fluid and operates on the Rankine cycle. The temperature and pressure of the steam entering the turbine is 318 degrees Celsius and 110 bar respectively. The steam expands into the turbine up to 0.05 bar. We have to find out cycle efficiency, work ratio and steam rate per kilowatt hour. So dear friends, in this case we have to refer the steam table, and when we refer the steam table we can see that 810 bar pressure and at 318 degrees Celsius the available steam is a dry saturated steam. So how we can find out that part? So what we have to do is we have to refer the 110 bar pressure. Corresponding to 110 bar pressure, the saturation temperature is around 318. So the steam which is available, that is a dry saturated steam, and when we refer the steam table at 110 bar we will get H4 and H4 values which are shown here, and then at condenser pressure, that is at 0.05 bar, we have to find out the other properties, that is saturation temperature, enthalpy of evaporation, enthalpy of saturated water, then you can say entropy, that is SF and SFG, and VF, that is volume of saturated liquid. So you can see also on the TS diagram the same process is plotted. To solve this numerical, first we have to find out what is the value of dryness fraction. So for that we have to go for S4 is equals to S5, that is 4 to 5 is the isentropic expansion process into the turbine. So S4 that is equals to SF plus X SFG 8.05 bar, and from that we will get the dryness fraction value is 0.64. So when that X value is available, we can find out what is the enthalpy at outlet of the turbine, that is H5 that is equals to HF plus X HFG, and upon calculation we will get H5 value, that is 1688.96 kilojoule per kilogram, and H1 that is enthalpy of saturated liquid at 0.5 bar, that is 137.8 kilojoule per kilogram. So when all the only H2 is remaining now. So what we have to do is we have to calculate what is pump work, that is equals to VF into P1 minus P2 into 10 power 2. So we have to convert that bar into kilopascal. So we will get the pump work value, that is 10.045 kilojoule per kilogram, and from that we will get H2, that is enthalpy at outlet of the pump, that is 147.85 kilojoule per kilogram. So friends, now all the enthalpy values are available, that is H1, H2, H4 and H5. So what is the turbine work, that is H4 minus H5. So when all enthalpy values are available, we can find out what is the turbine work, that is 1020.34 kilojoule per kilogram. Pump work is also known to us, that is we had already calculated that part, that is 10.045 kilojoule per kilogram as per the previous slide. So net work is available, that is turbine work minus pump work, and heat supplied, that is H4 minus H2, that is also available. So we will get efficiency of Rankine cycle, that is net work available divided by supplied heat, that is 37.41%, and the work ratio, that is net work available divided by turbine work, so that is 0.9903, that is the work ratio. Similarly, we have to find out the steam rate in terms of kilowatt hour, so that is 3600 divided by net work available, so we will get the value 3.566 kilogram per kilowatt hour. Now we will discuss second numerical. So in Rankine cycle operated steam power plant, steam enters at 25 bar 350 degrees Celsius is expanded into the steam turbine to 0.08 bar. Steam is then condensed to the saturated liquid water and pumped back to the boiler. Assuming the ideal processes determine the net work output per kg of steam and cycle efficiency. Next part, if the turbine and pump are 80% efficient, then find the percentage reduction in net work output and cycle efficiency. So dear friend, in this case we have to consider isentropic efficiency of turbine and pump and what is effect of that isentropic efficiency, or you can say what is effect of that actual case. Because of that, what is the variation in the work output as well as cycle efficiency, that we have to find out. So you can see at 25 bar and at 350 degrees Celsius from the steam table, the H3 and S3 values are available, and some of the data at 0.08 bar which is available from the steam table are mentioned here, that is HF, HFG, SF, SFG and VF. Also, the process is shown on the TS diagram. The dotted line is talking about actual cycle. So that will solve when we will consider the isentropic efficiency of the turbine and pump. So like previous example, first we have to find out what is the dryness fraction at outlet of the turbine, that is at state 4. So S3 equals to S4 and S3 that is equals to SF plus X SFG. So we will get dryness fraction value, that is 0.82. So H3 is available. Now we have to find out what is H4. So H4 is HF plus X SFG, and we will get the value of H4, that is enthalpy at outlet of the turbine, that is 2144.44 kilojoule per kilogram. Now the pump work is VF into P1 minus P2 into 10 power 2. So the pump work is 2.5 kilojoule per kilogram. So your H2 value, that is equals to H1 plus WP. So that is enthalpy at outlet of the pump, that is 176.4 kilojoule per kilogram. Now when all the enthalpy values are available, we can find out what is the turbine work, that is H3 minus H4, and what is net work available, that is turbine work minus pump work. So you can find that values are available, what is turbine work, what is pump work, what is net work, and based on that what is cycle efficiency. So you can see at present the cycle efficiency is 33.19%, and now we have to discuss the next case. Now we are considering isentropic efficiency of turbine is 80% and isentropic efficiency of pump, that is also 80%. So the efficiency of pump, that is isentropic efficiency of pump, that is equals to isentropic work divided by actual work. So that is WP divided by W dash P, and hence the actual pump work is, you can say, ideal pump work divided by 0.8. So a pump work is 3.125 kilojoule per kilogram. In the same way, the turbine work available actually is 785.48 kilojoule per kilogram. So the net work available is WT dash minus WP dash, and that is 782.363 kilojoule per kilogram. So here the net work output reduction is, you can say, around 20.31%. In the same way, when we will find out what is the H2 value available actually, that is the enthalpy at outlet of the pump, that is 177.005 kilojoule per kilogram, and hence the amount of heat supplied, that is H1 minus H2, that is 2949.295 kilojoule per kilogram, and hence the cycle efficiency that varies, that is 26.52%, that is cycle efficiency, that is 26.52%, and the reduction in the cycle efficiency which we can see, that is around 20%. So you can see that when we will consider the actual case, the efficiency of Rankine cycle is reduced by 20% if we consider isentropic efficiency of pump and isentropic efficiency of turbine, that is equals to 80%. So friend, this was in brief about vapor power cycle and its numerical. These all things were taken from book of Engineering Thermodynamics by Atul Prakashan, and the authors are Dr. Alpesh Mehta and Dr. Nirvesh Mehta. So in the next video we will discuss about gas power cycle and application and numericals. So stay tuned with this channel. Have a nice day. Thank you.